Hello and welcome to Lakewood Next Daily Devotions. Happy Tuesday. Well, today we're going to be talking about the Sadducees. Now, one thing about the Sadducees is they do not believe in the prophesied resurrection or the resurrection at the end of life. And so they come to Jesus with this kind of ridiculous hypothetical about a woman who marries 7 brothers, and then they ask him, is she going to be married to? Who is she going to be married to in the resurrection? So once again, we're painting Jesus into a corner. So we're going to pick it up. We're going to read it in Matthew chapter 22, starting at verse 23. It says, "The same day Sadducees came to him, who say that there is no resurrection, and they asked him a question, saying, 'Teacher,'" once again, Rabbi, "Moses said, if a man dies having no children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up the offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first married and died, having no offspring, left his wife to his brother. So too the second and the third, down to the 7th. After them all the woman died. In the resurrection, therefore, of the 7, whose wife will she be? For they all had her." But Jesus answered them, "You are wrong, because you know neither the Scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in married, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was said to you by God? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living." And when the crowd heard it, they were astonished at his teaching. So Jesus answers their question with some pretty great truth, but also some real authority. He says, you're wrong because you don't know the power of God. Essentially what he reminds them of is that heaven is not just an improved earth, that the resurrection is not just a better version of what we experience now. It is something entirely new. It's not just a continuation, or it's not a continuation of this life. Marriage isn't the same. But then he drops the bomb. It says, God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. So first, he challenges even their view and their perspective of what the resurrection would be. And then he says, God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. He says, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Notice, he doesn't say, I was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He says, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That means that they are living in God's presence, that they do not pass away because we are eternal. We have souls that last beyond us. So essentially, Jesus is calling out the way that they see the world. See, the Sadducees loved the world, and the things of the world had blinded them to both God's power and the implications of God's revelation in Scripture. So if I can just say it this way, God's power is real. His promises are eternal, which means that resurrection is not a myth or simply a hope. Resurrection is a guarantee. And so we can anticipate a resurrection, not into a better version of this world, but into a complete new experience of heaven. It's not our world just made better, it's our world made new. And so in this new world, we get to live with God. One of the things I'll challenge you with is this: maybe pray through this today. Pray that God would change your perspective, that you would see your life not just from the perspective of your day-to-day obligations, but that you would see your life through the perspective of the eternal. And when we're looking through the perspective of the eternal, it changes the way we see the temporary things of this life. It changes the way we think about everything. So pray that God would give you a perspective of the eternal. Be blessed today.